Good morning. Today is 31st of March and I welcome you to the Hindu newspaper analysis discussion. So guys, let's start with the video, and before starting I would like to tell you that you can download the notes of this entire session from our Telegram channel. Link is given in description box. Now starting up, first of all, let's see overview of newspaper. So first article is on a drug for rare disease. We'll see this article as what it is talking about. Then further moving on, back to schools, 2.7 lakh adults gain literacy numeracy skills. We'll see this particular article as what is New India Literacy Program. Then further moving on guys, then in regional section, the regional issue, dog attacks, fine and regional political issues, advertisements, tenders have been given. Nothing very much relevant is there. Fine, so we will be moving on in this particular direction. Again, advertisements, etc. have been given. ISRO releases images of Earth captured by its EOS-06. EOS stands for Earth Observation Satellite. Okay, so they have released the pictures. Now guys, understand this particular thing. Every other development, for example, they have released the pictures, is not really very important for the examination. Only the major developments are something that you need to see for your examination, on which the questions can be asked. So the idea is that we need to understand this FOMO as well. Fine. Now then moving on. After that guys, we come to this spotlight article. India's modern capital swallows its ancient urban hub Metropolis. Now here there is one article, GPT-4. We'll see that what is this GPT-4 with respect to the examination. Then disquiet down south, the stakes are high for all parties in the Karnataka assembly election. So the article is talking about the stakes for BJP and other political parties. The article is not that much relevant for your examination, so no need to go too much there. Vaikom Satyagraha and the fight for social justice. We'll see this particular article. Then the article is talking about basically what has happened recently. Has Scotland has made a history in electing as First Minister Hamza Yusuf. Okay, now the article is talking about the immigrants, how the immigrants are now getting the political representation in the Scotland. Okay, then further moving on, is the Khalistan movement reviving? Okay, so guys, recently we have seen that there is a kind of a revival of the elements who are preaching the demand for Khalistan, which goes against the sovereignty and unity integrity of India. So this article is actually tracking the development, that how the Deep Sidhu was the founder of an organization, and then how this particular thing is further moving on. Now the article is more talking about the present developments that are happening, which are not very much important for your UPSC examination. So guys, exam relevant substance is missing in this particular article, so I'll not advise you to go too much in detail here. Then further moving on in this particular direction, the piezoelectric effect in liquids. We'll see this article with respect to the science and technology. The issue with the quality control order for fiber. So guys, recently what has happened, quality control order for fiber, cotton, polyester, viscose, they have been released. Okay, now understand this particular thing, that India, as we talk about today, India is importing a lot of fibers. Okay, India is importing a lot of fibers, and such quality control measures will help that. This is the one line concept. After that, okay, you are not and need to see that what are the exact standards that have been introduced, what is the standard for blends, what is the standard for viscose, etc. Okay, then further moving on, how the John Wick franchise revitalized an entire genre. Not important article for exam. Then further moving on, China's new defense minister likely to visit. China's new defense minister likely to visit India for SCO meet. So we have already seen yesterday that right now India is chairing the SCO for 2023, that is a Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and as in SCO China is the member. So in SCO meet, China's new defense minister will be visiting. Then further moving on, Germany says it's watching Rahul case, sets of BJP Congress pact. Not relevant article for your examination, so please we need to skip them. Then after that guys, further again the page is filled with the political articles. Ancestry records to shed light on India's past. We'll see this particular development as recently the ICHR is moving forward to make the genealogy data available. Then further moving on, ahead of tribunals launch SOP for GST investigations to minimize fresh disputes. So basically, guys, GST, that is the goods and services tax. Now, basically, what has happened? The GST appellate tribunal has already been provided for. We have seen. Now, the standard operating procedure for investigations have been will be released. So understand this thing, that within the GST matters, there are many of the issues that are there. Okay. So how the investigations are to be done, so that the fair investigations happen. Okay, disputes don't come up. So that criteria is given. You are not required to track that what will be the SOPs for investigations. Fine, for your examination. Then guidelines for setting up foreign universities to be out in May, says UGC. So guys, UGC already had come out with this particular thing, that now the foreign universities can open their campus in India. For example, Stanford, MIT, they can open their campuses in India and can start the courses. But the detailed provisions will be released by the May. Then further moving on, Russia arrests US journalist on espionage allegations. So guys, this Russia-Ukraine war is going on, and as Russia-Ukraine war is going on, the world has got divided in West versus Russia. So these developments now have become pretty common. So Russia has arrested the US journalist, then the US is having suspicions towards the Russia. Are you required to see this article for your examination? Not that much. Pakistan Senate adopts bill to limit Chief Justice's power. Not very much important article for our examination. Then here, disinvestment facing many challenges. We'll see this article. Then guys, after that we have the corporate trends, etc. Not very much important. And then we have the sports page. So this is, guys, all about this particular article, this particular newspaper overview. And now let's discuss all the relevant articles one by one in detail. Then further moving on. So let's start with the GS quotation for today. So guys, today we'll take the quotation from Albert Schweitzer, who says that the purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others. So the purpose of human life is to serve other. Okay, and it has also been said that the service to God, the service to man is indeed the service to God. So only purpose for human is to help others, is to elevate the other's existence, and in the other's happiness lies the human's happiness. We can use this particular idea in GS paper number 4, ethics, integrity and aptitude. Now let's take the first article. So the first article that we are going to take is from text and context section, the piezoelectric effect in liquids. Piezoelectric effects in liquid. We'll see this particular article with respect to the prelims examination, science and technology. Science and technology. Now guys, what is this piezoelectric effect? Now, first of all, piezoelectric effect, the word piezo comes from the word press, comes from the Greek word press. So basically, there are certain elements, if we put a mechanical pressure on them, by squeezing them, by putting mechanical pressure on them, what will happen? A kind of an electric charge will be released. Okay, so this is piezoelectric effect, that when you squeeze something, when you put a mechanical pressure on something, electric charge will be released, and that electric charge can be used. Fine. So basically, till now, it has been so piezoelectric effect has been known for last 143 years. But up till now, piezoelectric effect has only been observed in the solid elements. Okay. So for example, when we talk about the piezoelectric effect, quartz. So in the quartz crystal, the piezoelectric effect is visible. So when we talk about the quartz crystal, it is made up of silicon and oxygen atom, which are organized at the four vertices of a pyramid. Okay, so when we talk about the quartz is a solid, and the internal structuring of the quartz is pyramids. Okay, pyramidical. So at the four vertices of that particular pyramid, there are silicon and oxygen. Basically, it contains the silicon and oxygen atoms. Now when a pressure, mechanical stress is applied, fine, or when this quartz crystal is squeezed, what happens? The position of the charge is pushed from the center, and when this position of the charge will be pushed, what will happen? It will give rise to a small voltage. Okay, so this is the piezoelectric effect, that when you are squeezing the quartz, it is giving a voltage, it is giving an electric effect. Now, up till now, only in the solids this piezoelectric effect was visible. Fine. Why? Because the point is that when we talk about the solids, they have a kind of a structure, they have a kind of an organized structure. Solids have an organized structure. But when we talk about the liquids don't have any such structure, rather they take the shape of the container in which they are contained. So water will take the shape of the glass, you put it into pot, it will take that. So liquids don't have any organized internal structure. But at the same time, these solids, they have the organized structure. So it is possible that piezoelectric effect is there. So up till now it was there in the solids, but now what has happened after 143 years, it has been found that in liquids also piezoelectric effect is it persists. So they have found it in pure 1 butyl 3 methyl imidazolium, okay, bis imide, and 1 hexyl 3 methyl imidazolium, okay, here. So in these in these two liquids, they have found that when they are contained at room temperature and when pressure is applied on these two liquids, then also the small electric voltage can be observed. Fine. So this is something that has been discovered now. Now understand, you are not required to go more than that. You are not required to go up to do a PhD, because such kind of questions are not asked in UPSC examination. Okay, maximum UPSC examination will be asking that recently piezoelectric effect was in news. It is up till now it was largely seen in solids, liquids, gases, or something like that. Fine. So very broad type of questions are there. So no need to go too much in detail. Then moving to next article. Back to school, 22.7 lakh adults gained literacy and numeracy skills this year. Okay. Now, guys, this particular article will see with respect to the GS paper number 2 social justice. GS paper number 2 social justice, issues related to education. Issues related to education. Now, what this entire article is all about. So basically, guys, the article is talking about the Nav Bharat literacy program. Now, the article is actually not discussing too much about the Nav Bharat literacy program. The article is giving certain numbers that how many adult people have got educated. But that number is not that much important, rather concept is important for our examination. So first of all, let's see this particular basic background information. So guys, first of all, there are many of the people who are illiterate, who are not able to complete their, who are not able to do the formal education when they were, when they were in their adolescence, when they were in their childhood. Okay, now these people are also to be educated, and for that particular thing, government had a program, that is Sakshar Bharat Abhiyan. Sakshar Bharat Abhiyan aimed to educate the illiterate people who have passed their age of learning. Okay, for them Sakshar Bharat was there. Now what has happened, recently government has come out with the reformed version of Sakshar Bharat, that is Nav Bharat literacy program. Nav Bharat literacy program. Now this particular program, it aims to cover the urban as well as rural areas, and it aims to eradicate illiteracy of citizen who was above 15 years of age. As I told you, who are not able to get the formal education and who have crossed their age also. Now this Nav Bharat literacy program, okay, it will operate from 21-22 till 25-26. It will operate till 25-26. And here the organizations, the NGOs, the civil societies will also be helping the government. And these NGOs, civil societies, they will be called as Akshar Sathi. Akshar Sathi. So government and these cities, organizations, Akshar Sathi, will help in educating the citizens who are above 15 years of age and who are not able to continue their studies in the age of learning. Now, this particular project will be a kind of a centrally sponsored schemes. What are central sponsored schemes? The schemes where the money will be shared by both the center as well as the states. So the funding ratio will be 60:40, that is 60% funding by center, 40% funding by the state. Okay, and the target that has been set is to educate basically 32 lakh. A physical target is to train 32 lakh 60,000 illiterate people. Fine, illiterate people. Now, as this Nav Bharat literacy program is going on, so basically it has been a kind of a huge success, and these many adults have gained literacy and numeracy skill this particular year. So the numbers have been given, and this is also called as New India Literacy Program. Fine. So this is all about this particular scheme. We can use these particular references in the social justice related answers for GS paper number 2. Now, moving to the next article. Drug for rare disease. Drug for rare disease gets custom duty relief. Okay. We'll see this particular article for GS paper number 2 health again. GS paper number 2 health again. Now, before going in this particular article, first of all, let's understand that what do we mean by the word rare disease. Okay. Now guys, rare disease are those disease which infects very less number of people. Let's say one person out of 10,000, okay, or 1,000. Fine, we are not going into the technical details. So rare disease are those disease which are not common, which impacts very less number of people, very less number of people of gets infected by that. Now the issue comes that then what is the problem in the rare disease if it doesn't infect so many of the people? The problem is that because it is not infecting too many people, pharmaceutical companies don't have incentive to make medicines for that. Okay, or even if the pharmaceutical companies are making the medicines, these medicines are going to be very expensive. Why they are going to be expensive? Understand this thing, that whenever a pharmaceutical companies go for any research, a lot of expenditure, a lot of money is wasted on that particular research, and that particular money they can recollect by selling the drugs. Now, if more and more drugs are to be sold, that research and developmental cost can be distributed over those quantities, over those numbers. But when there are not too many buyers, then what they need to do? They will increase the per unit price of that particular drug exponentially. So the people who are getting infected by these rare disease, fine, they will be find very hard to afford these particular drugs. Okay. So we have the rare disease. Now guys, in order to deal with the rare disease, already government had the national policy for rare disease. Let me tell you that also. So we already have the national policy in rare disease. In this particular disease, government will provide the access as well as affordable treatment for the individuals who are suffering with rare disease. Moreover, government will also be establishing the national registry for rare disease to enable for better research, management of rare disease. Okay, so this is something that is there. Now when we talk about the rare disease, in the national policy of rare disease, the rare disease have been classified in 3 categories. Category number 1, category number 1, those disease where one time treatment is there, one time treatment is there, fine, you give one time therapy and they can be treated. Second is that where lifelong treatment is to be taken up, and third is there where therapy is there but it is very expensive and the selection of the patient is going to be very big problem. Fine, very expensive therapies. Now, what presently has government come out with? So this is all background. So now government has come out with this particular thing that some of the drugs or some of the medicines for the rare diseases are imported from the other countries, and when they are imported, there are the custom duties that are imposed on them, and because of those custom duties and taxes, these drugs become expensive. Okay, so therefore now government has decided that all the drugs and the foods for special medical purpose such as the rare disease, when they will be imported for personal use, okay, then under the national policy for rare disease, now they are fully exempted. Now they are fully exempted from basic custom duty. Okay, no custom duty, no taxes will be imposed on them. Now when we talk about the drugs, they generally attract the custom duty of 10%. Okay, some drugs they attract the custom duty of 5%, but now no custom duty will be charged on them, so that they become affordable for masses, so that they become affordable for the mass number of people. So this is a new thing that the government has come out with. Now, when we talk about the Indian Constitution, Article number 21 talks about the right to life, and within the right to life, right to health is integrated. Without the right to health, right to life can never be completed. So this particular step that government has taken, it will further help to consolidate the right to life and right to health in India. Okay, so this is all about this particular article. I hope guys that you have understood it. And now moving to the next article. GPT-4, GPT-4, a shift from what it can do to what it augurs. Fine. Now, guys, first of all, you are not required to go too much in detail in this particular article. Now what this is talking about, this is talking about the GPT-4. GPT-4. We'll see this particular article with respect to the science and tech. GPT-4, which is an advanced version of Chat GPT 3.5. 3.5. Now guys, when we talk about the Chat GPT, you might already have heard the name of the Chat GPT. What is this Chat GPT? It is a kind of a chat bot. It is a kind of a chat bot. Now, if I give you a very basic example of a chat bot, if you have ever ordered the food from Swiggy or Zomato, and if you want to raise a complaint, they will direct you to a chat, and in that chat you will be talking, and then there will be the bot generated replies that will be given to you. Bot generated means that they are machine generated. A person is not actually typing it. So this is a chatbot. Chatbot is a kind of a platform. Okay, it is a program with which you can talk and it will give replies to you. Now when we talk about this Chat GPT, it is a very advanced kind of a chatbot which is based on generative artificial intelligence. It is based on to the generative artificial intelligence. Now what do we mean by this generative artificial intelligence? Understand this particular thing, guys, that you can type the query on this Chat GPT chatbot. It will analyze your query, and in the form of natural language it will give you reply. In the natural language it will give you reply. You can ask it almost all the things about the any event that happened till 2021. The cutoff date is 2021. It is a pre-generative text generator based on artificial intelligence. Clear? Now, when we talk about the Chat GPT, so then advanced version of Chat GPT has come, that is GPT-4, and this GPT-4 has some of more kind of abilities. Now, first of all, this GPT-4, it is a new improvement of OpenAI. OpenAI. So OpenAI is a kind of a consortium of tech companies who have made this Chat GPT, and it includes the companies such as Microsoft. Now this GPT-4, it will right now be available to premium subscription, not very much important. Now what are the benefits of it? So it can carry more creative conversation. It can carry more creative conversations. Moreover, earlier you can only type text in that Chat GPT 3.5. Now it can accept the text as well as image input. Text and image input, both it can accept, and on that particular basis it can draft the answers. Okay, this is something that has happened, and better performance, better prediction, better output, all these are the features of the Chat GPT 4. But still there are certain ethical questions that are there in these generative in these chatbots, which still remain in a GPT-4 as well. What are the problems? What are the ethical issues that are there? So problem number one is that GPT 3.5, it was found that it has given some fictitious information also. Okay, it has made up certain information which was not entirely true. This was a problem of GPT 3.5, and GPT 4 also might provide some of the fictitious information which might not be true. Then second thing is that basically when we talk about the Chat GPT 3.5, it was actually trained on the data that was available on the internet, and therefore a lot of stereotypes, biases, prejudices that are there in the data that is, or in the information that is there on the internet, that biases, prejudices also came in the Chat GPT 3.5's design. So many number of times the information which is laced with certain prejudices, information which is laced with certain stereotypes, it has been provided. So point is that when we talk about the Chat GPT-4, it is also trained on the data taken from internet, and it still contains information which is harmful, full of biases, stereotypes. So still that kind of information will be provided by the GPT-4. Then next, it is the next issue that is being provided here is that when we talk about the GPT-4, it is a machine that predicts the next word in an unfinished sentence based on probabilities that it has learned into the past. So therefore what has happened, it is being called as the stochastic parrot. Okay, speaking in comprehensible phrases without understanding the meaning. Okay, so it just predicts that after this text, what next text should logically come. So it is not actually many number of times able to understand the complete context. Fine, just it is working on the probabilities. So this is a limitation, and it is being said that still artificial intelligence has to go far before it can replace or before it can beat up the human intelligence. Fine. So this is all about this particular article, guys. Now moving to the next article. Vaikom, a Satyagraha and the fight for social justice. Vaikom, a Satyagraha and the fight for social justice. Now, this article, guys, is talking about the Vaikom Satyagraha that was led in Kerala. So, let's talk about it. So, basically, guys, what the article is talking about. Now, so the article is talking about the Vaikom Temple Street Entry movement that was started in Kerala. Now, this Vaikom Satyagraha was taken up from 30th March 1924 to 23rd November 1925. So, this movement went for nearly 1.5 years, and it was a kind of a non-violent movement that was started because the people belonging from backward caste, people belonging from Dalit communities, they were not allowed. Fine, they were not allowed to use the roads around the Vaikom Mahadev temple. So entry was not allowed, and even they were not allowed to use the roads near the Vaikom Mahadev temple. So allow them to enter and allow them to use the roads and premises around the Vaikom Mahadev temple. This Vaikom Satyagraha was started. Now, this Satyagraha was based on the testing grounds for the Gandhian principle of Satyagraha. Now, when we talk about the Gandhiji Satyagraha is based on the pursuit of truth. It is based on inherently the principles of non-violence and all such kind of things. Now, many leaders participated in Vaikom Satyagraha, such as T.K. Madhavan, K.P. Keshav Menon, George Joseph, okay, uh, and largely the spiritual leader of this movement was Mahatma Gandhi, and successfully who steered this movement on the ground, it was conducted by Periyar E. Ramaswamy, who was then the president of Tamil Nadu Congress. Now, understand this particular thing. uh, Periyar E.V. Ramaswamy, he was the president in Congress, he was the president of the Tamil Nadu Congress, but he supported the movement in Kerala. Now, understand, the article is talking about that for long, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they have helped each other and have supported each other's causes. Now, when we talk about the Vaikom Satyagraha movement, it sustained for more than 1.5 years. Okay, the government, what happened? First of all, it was arresting the people who were participating in it. But government found that it is not a very effective strategy. It is not giving a lot of results. So what government did? Government started to arrest the leaders of this particular movement. Okay, now why? Because if leaders will be arrested, then there will be no one to lead, to guide the people, and as the movement will become leaderless, automatically it will fizzle. So this is something that happened. Okay, so what happened now in this particular direction, guys? So basically, then the leaders, they also adopted for the resolution for the right to sanchar, that is the right to movement, fine, which actually got defeated in the assembly. Okay, which have actually got defeated into the assembly. Now, when we talk about Tamil Nadu, I told you that Tamil Nadu always have supported the causes for the Kerala, and here in Vaikom Satyagraha also, Tamil Nadu played a very important role. Fine. So this is something that has been there. Moreover, there were also the rally by the upper caste people from the Vaikom in the favor of the protesters. Fine. This is that has happened. So basically, as guys, we are as March 30 was the date when the Vaikom Satyagraha got started in 1924, and yesterday was March 30. So in that particular remembrance, this particular article has been written. So that is all about it. Now, further moving to the next article. Okay, so the article reads ancestry records to shed light on India's past. Okay, now this article will see with respect to the GS paper number 1, society and culture. Society and culture. Okay, so basically, guys, most of you might be knowing it. If you don't know, I will tell you. So basically, there is a tradition of the genealogy priest. There is the tradition of genealogy priest. Now, who are these? Now, these genealogy priests, they are also called as pandas. These are the people who compile the genealogical history of the people, their families, their ancestors. So basically, these genealogy priests or the pandas, they are there in many cities, and they actually compile the genealogical histories of the people and their families. For example, what it has, so these pandas, okay, now understand this thing that there are around 2500 such genealogy priests or the pandas in Haridwar. Then there are in many other cities also, and actually they have the records region wise. For example, the priest into the Haridwar, they are having the records of the people from Rajasthan, Bengal, etc. Now they have actually the records of the families up to 15 to 20 generations, and they have the information about the place of origin of your ancestors. They have information about their names, their birth, their death, when it happened, the reason for death, their place of residence, what grants they have made to the temples, what was their caste, what was their occupation. So extensive information about the people's past 50 to 20 generations is there with these genealogy priests. Now what has happened, the Indian Council for Historical Research, Indian Council for Historical Research will take this particular data, this particular information, and you will use them to fill the gaps in Indian history. Now guys, when we talk about the Indian history, even if you have read it into the books, Indian history is largely written on the lines of dynasties which have ruled. Okay, so majorly which king came, for how many years he ruled, what were the main battles of the king. These are the things which are there in history. People's history is not there. What people used to do. But okay, so from people's perspective, history is missing. So from people's perspective, the history will be shed out, and ICHR is going to use these particular genealogy records, and these records are being said as invaluable sources for socio and economic conditions of the times. Okay, now many of these records up till now have not been tapped properly. They have not reached the archives of the State Department. So now the history reading, history recalling will be made effective by including this particular kind of a proof also. Okay, so this is all guys about it. Then moving to next article, disinvestment facing many challenges, government. Disinvestment facing many challenges, government. Now, what do we understand guys by disinvestment? Disinvestment. So government of India holds substantial stakes in many of the PSUs, okay, and many of the other organizations. For example, LIC government has a substantial stake. Then in PSUs, public sector units, government has a lot of stake. Now, disinvestment is the process when government sells that particular government owned stake to the private parties, and by selling that particular stake, government will get the money. So in investment we put the money, in disinvestment we take back our money. So government is moving forward with the disinvestment, and every year certain disinvestment target is taken by government, and it has been seen that these disinvestment targets actually are not being completely, they are not being achieved. For example, this particular fiscal year, the disinvestment target, revised target was 50,000 crore, but only 35,000 crore rupees receipts are there. So it is not getting fulfilled. So therefore, now what has happened, this particular budget has put forward that 51,000 crore rupees disinvestment will be done, and it is a 9-year low. It is a 9-year low. So probably government has came to realize this particular thing, that the economic conditions are not good and these targets have never got achieved. So more realistic target for disinvestment has been taken by the government. Now it has been provided that last year a lot of disinvestment bids that government wanted to take, it was not successful because of the many reasons. Financial capacity was restrained. There was a lot of risks going on in global economy. Russia-Ukraine war was there, and as Russia-Ukraine war was going on, there was a kind of a global risk. So therefore, foreign investors, they were very much apprehensive. Okay, land title, lease, land use issues are there. Okay, so there are many such kind of an issues. So therefore, this year government has taken a realistic kind of disinvestment target. Now you are not guys required to go and learn that how many crore target was taken last year, how many got achieved. Before that, how many crores got achieved. Okay, fine. Moreover, within this 51,000 crore rupees, there are also the internal targets. For example, which PSU, how much stake government will dilute and how much money will come from that. You are not required to go too much in detail in that. Okay, so this is all about it guys. And now moving to the main practice question for today. So today's main practice question, it reads, explain the significance of Vaikom Satyagraha, how it is a struggle that set India on the path of equality and justice. So it will be question for GS paper number 1, 10 marker question. So that is all guys about this particular session. So I hope that you have understood it, and with this we come to an end to the today's session. So that is all guys. I hope that you are liking the video. If you have liked the video, please do hit the like button, as well as please do leave your lovely comments. Thank you so much. Now we'll meet